Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. We're in Ypsilanti, Michigan at Eagle Crest, and we're here for the, I guess it's an annual event, is it not, John Walsh?
It's the reinstituted annual events. We haven't done it for 2 years, but we're back at it.
All right, and people here, actually people with legs, all that stuff, right?
Everyone's here. We have a buffet. We're doing everything we used to do.
How cool is that? And of course, this is the MFG Forum, which stands for manufacturing. So, as the CEO of the Michigan Manufacturers Association, what's going on here today? What do we hope to present?
So what we're really looking at is supply chain as a primary focus in how to deal with it. But what's coming from it are other lessons that deal with any disruption in business. How to address a change in your employee base as people retire, the great resignation and so on. But the rooting force today is the supply chain and how to address changes in that.
You know, you've got good attendance here for just reconstituting this thing.
We're very pleased. So we have just over 100 people. We're absolutely happy. We were careful with our numbers and our venue, working really well with our partners here, but we're happy with the turnout.
Well, you should have that. And a variety of subjects are being offered here. Tell me a little bit about the speakers.
So a number of our speakers are manufacturers themselves. We just heard from Jeff Daniel. He's with PVS Chemicals, and he covered a variety of issues, but he used as his focus the way that his company operates and how they approach their business, why they're successful, and how they can anticipate change and plan for it. We'll also hear from some of our vendors that are helping our members succeed, and we're going to hear from the Agent General from the province of Ontario.
You know, we just had Jordan Timian from Amigo, which of course is a Michigan manufacturer, and just when you look at some of the things that Jeff also brought up, the culture is such a big piece of this talent.
It sure is. And one of the things that Jeff talked about, what we'll hear throughout the day, is how do you build that culture when you're on a hybrid schedule? And how do you engage folks? It was interesting because I listened to him and he said, we're meeting with them when they're in on their hybrid day. We take them out to lunch. I thought I was doing pretty good buying my folks lunch a couple times a month. But you know, all kidding aside, is how do you get people to feel comfortable, to be productive off-site, but still to be part of the team? We're going through a number of retirements, long-term people, and we're going to replace them with new folks that have no idea how we work. They don't know is that person, do they have kids, where they go to school? How do you engender that feeling of family and commitment when you're working hybrid? So that'll be a big focus today.
Well, and you know, Jeff kind of addressed a little bit of that culture thing by talking about the fact that we better be automated.
Yes, and that's, as I go through, you know, I'll tell you, at some point, manufacturing is starting to get comfortable with the workforce and automation balance. But COVID has changed that, and now you have very creative folks finding ways to automate even more. So you still want to have people doing smart jobs, you want human beings involved, but wherever we can get automation on the job, let's do that, and that's accelerating.
You know, it's kind of interesting because Tom Kelly pops into my mind, head of automation, Alley, right?
Yes.
Who I know you
Yes.
work closely with.
Yes.
That's 4.0
Yeah,
circumstance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're glad to work with them and any partner that can help us look at automation. It's here, it's accelerating, and the key is doing it with intelligence and understanding. There are certain things, we've had some of our members completely automate and reverse their decision when they find out that the human factor, when it's not there, there's a degradation in process or quality.
Yeah. Well, and you never get that like John Desai that looks at this and says there's a problem coming from experience.
Well, and one of the things we always have to think about is how do you prepare for that? You can't, no one could have predicted in a million years, or maybe in 100 years, a 100-year pandemic. But how do you prepare for that and make sure that you can weather as much as is reasonably predictable?
Well, you know, we've talked to two of your speakers, and the prediction is that things will start to ease and get back a little bit to normalcy in about a year. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of your feeling?
It's what we're hearing. You know, I'll tell you one thing, we did a mini survey, so we didn't hit everybody, but we hit certain segments in our membership. And in January, they were getting maybe one application for every job posted. Now we're up to 4 to 6. So we're starting to see people returning to the workforce and engaging, but that's still going to take time. That's not enough to always find a quality candidate moving forward. Orders are up, and I'm watching the supply chain work through pricing and timing. It's difficult, really difficult, but there's a reality that's set upon us, and I'm witnessing more and more cooperation and a positive approach.
You know, John, one of the things we saw is that everybody's enthused about the orders going up, the revenue going up, not as enthused about the profit going up proportionally. I mean,
Agreed.
where do you hide those price increases? You know?
And that's the hard part. So we have, I did a quick trip, hit about 17 companies, and we're starting to see holding cash a little bit. Not dramatic, not enough to cause great concern, but just enough that they're recognizing this is going to take a bit longer. A year out, a bunch of humans kind of trying to decide, you know, when do we think we get back to normal?
It's a difficult situation, but you're doing everything you can to ward it off with this type of a situation, the annual MFG Forum that you're putting on here. So
Absolutely, and we're glad to be back at it.
well, it's good to have you on. John Walsh, CEO of the Michigan Manufacturers Association. Always good to spend time with you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be right back.